Okay, everybody. So we are still in the book of Ruth. We are now headed to looking and reviewing chapters 3. Okay, so we have Naomi and Ruth. Ruth is the young lady who is stuck by the side of her mother in law. And this young lady is in a situation where she has not allowed her being in a foreign country and a foreign land and surrounded by people that she does not know to change her character. Her character has been built over the course of time based on her work and the work that she has done. And she's actually a part of a nation where she's taken on the responsibility of caring for her mother-in-law. Now, once her mother-in-law Naomi found out that Boaz was interested in her. Remember, Naomi is bitter. She's bitter, but she has a lot of faith and she believes in God and she thanks God after she hears that Boaz has taken interest in her daughter-in-law. So what she then commissions, and she has a plan, she commissions Ruth to ask Boaz to be her kinsman and their family's kinsman redeemer. So what exactly is a kinsman redeemer? A redeemer, he's actually someone who was of affluence. He's a member of the extended family, and he's the person that everybody can turn to for help. Usually they have the position where they can buy back slaves. They can buy back slaves in terms of a family member has been enslaved, so they can take on the responsibility of paying for that person, similar to indentured servitude. Also, they can buy back land in crises. They can also go about taking on the responsibility of a dead husband. So that responsibility would be for that young lady to marry a brother of her dead husband. So since Boaz is within Naomi's lineage, Ruth can take on the responsibility of approaching him in that manner. And she does exactly that. But the thing is Boaz is a man of integrity and character. There are other people who are also affluent, they're wealthy farmers who would be in a position to marry Ruth instead of him first. So what he does is he makes certain that this is the Israelite culture. He wants to make certain that he is following the inheritance rules accordingly. So he makes certain that he goes out and he asks first. He asks another gentleman who is in the same position of being a possible kinsman redeemer of Naomi and Ruth before he takes on the responsibility. But this is a lot, because what ends up happening is Boaz, when he's approached with this, he's actually sleeping on the threshing floor. So remember, the threshing floor is a place where the grain is actually being separated in the harvest. So we've got the wheat stalks being separated from the chaff. What ends up happening is, everybody remember, there are no laws technically that people are living by. So Boaz is sleeping on the threshing floor to protect the wheat. He don't want nobody to come and steal it, because everybody, his harvesters have worked long and hard to get all of this wheat, and he wants to make certain he's protecting it. And the fact that he is doing that himself also says a lot about his character, because he could have commissioned a bunch of people. He didn't have to be sleeping on the threshing floor himself. He could go sleep at home and in the bed. But he is an actual genuine leader, and he took on the task and that responsibility to watch the wheat himself. He slept right there on the floor just like everybody else, and that truly is a demonstration of what his character was. So he goes out and he asks the other gentleman if he was actually interested in Ruth before he himself made any sort of claim to her. And he did the right thing. Naomi gave Ruth some advice to approach Boaz while he was on the floor and in a position where he was sleeping. But the thing is about Ruth, her character speaks for herself as well. This is not her propositioning him in a negative manner to say, hey, we can, do some nefarious things. I'll put it that way. That's not what she set out to do in this, because she was acting as a servant. So it's normal custom during that time for a servant to lay at the feet of a master so that they would be prepared. If that master were to wake up at night and need anything, they would go ahead and go get whatever the master would need of them during the middle of the night, whether that be a glass of water, some milk, anything. They were making themselves readily available. So what Ruth did is she asked him to cover her with the cloth, and that was normal. She was not trying to do anything else with him other than say, hey, are you willing to be a kinsman redeemer? And we also see in the interaction within chapter 3 that this was something he was thinking about doing anyway. But he wanted to go about following the Israelite laws of doing it in the appropriate manner, because that shows and demonstrates that he's a gentleman. So during this horrible crises that Naomi and Ruth are facing, they are in a position of not being able to provide for themselves, because normally it's a man who is providing for women during that time. Ruth has taken on responsibility of going to work and doing hard work, because gleaning from a field is not easy. If you have not looked up or Googled what that looked like, I definitely recommend you take a look to see exactly what took place. But it was Boaz who did the gentlemanly thing, and he took on the responsibility of caring for Naomi and Ruth. So what we have here is, this is also prophecy too, because remember, nothing is happening by chance and nothing is happening by coincidence. So we have, not only does, once they end up getting married and they're a couple, and that's in another chapter, we'll discuss that a little bit later in another video, but the Messiah comes through the line of Boaz and Ruth, okay? Not only King David, but our Messiah. So Jesus comes through this line. And this is prophetic, as well as this demonstrates some of the things that is spoken to in earlier chapters and other chapters that come afterwards within the Bible. So we have a redeemer, and this suggests he was able to and willing to pay any sort of ransom, purchase the loss of, or even just take care of other people. And that's what Boaz did. He did that selflessly, and he didn't do it grudgingly. There's a difference between a person who has money, who does things and they take care of the poor, and they really don't want to do it. Everybody can know, and they sense when a person is actually serving and they don't want to do it. But he didn't respond in that manner. He wanted to take on the responsibility and challenge of taking care of Ruth and Naomi and those who were actually under his charge. So under his charge means those people who were harvesters for him, the young ladies who were slaves. He wanted to take care of, and essentially when you take care of a person, that's showing your love for that person. So Ruth might have been a foreigner. She may have been a Boitis. She was all of those things, but her character and her relationship with her mother-in-law actually demonstrated and reflected who she was. Even though she was in a foreign land, she took it on the chin, and she went on ahead and she did what it took in order to do things the right way, to provide for herself and her mother-in-law. And she also demonstrated that you don't have to change yourself in a different environment that's foreign to you in order to be successful. Be successful in a sense where if you're willing to put in the hard work, people see that you put in hard work and doors will open for you. So think about that in your own life and everyday existence, because if you're that person that's going above and beyond, just like Boaz and just like Ruth did, people see that, and you can be an inspiration to others. That inspires other people to do better and to actually care about other people in a manner where they don't feel like it's heavy on your heart, because serving should never feel like it's something you have to do. It's something that you would want to do anyway, because I take pride in helping other people, and it's demonstrated in my character. And my character in terms of the things that I've done in the past and continue to do for people I don't even know. So you do that same thing and take that challenge on, because it might be someone that's looking at you and they're like, wow, I can't believe that person did it, but I see they're doing it and they're still trying, and I want to do it too. I want to try, and I want to be that person to help other people. So next video, guys, stay tuned.